So welcome to the December meeting. Thank you all for coming. I don't think there's anyone new that needs to be introduced yet, so I don't think we need translations, but I'm not really sure. I will insert appropriate pauses if needed. But I think we're good this time. So a couple of things, I guess, is the first one is Culture Day. I hope everyone is well planning towards Culture Day now. It is super important to be doing that. We want to make sure that we have lots of representation. We have lots of different activities. If you are needing help, I saw that Emily had assigned everyone a scouter to help you with. So please reach out to them if you need help. If you didn't get that email, please let me know and I will find out. I'll forward that on to Emily. That was the first thing I wanted to talk about. Second one that I had on our list was that by now you should have met everyone in your patrol. If you have not talked to everyone in your patrol by now, if you can't get a hold of them, please reach out to myself or Laura, and we'll make sure that you have the right emails. And if not, I can call them to make sure that they are being included. We want everyone to be included in these events, and we really need to be making sure that you are starting to meet with everyone and more importantly, have met everyone already. And on that note, we wanted to make sure that starting like in the new year, we're expecting that you should be meeting at least once a month with your patrol, if not more frequently. More is better. One of the things I said to a patrol on Friday night was we really want it to be that when you get off the plane, if your patrol is spread out across the country, that when you get off the plane, you are like, wow, it's nice to meet you, but I already know everything about you. And we would like that in the patrols and, if possible, in the Jamboree units. We really want to get people to know each other so that you're going to be spending 10 days with these people. The more you know about them when you get there, the better off it will be for everybody. Two of the things. Third thing that I had, I want everyone to work with their youth to develop a code of conduct for your patrol, and then a bigger code of conduct for the Jamboree unit. Would be another one that we want you to work on to make sure that everybody is working well, and if necessary, include in that a code of conduct for your parents, or working with your parents in the patrols, if that's something you needed. And here's David now. And I've covered off 3 of the points, and I don't remember the 4th point, but they were all the same. We did Culture Day, importance of meeting, code of conduct. What was the 3rd one we had in common?
It'll come to me.
It'll come to me as well at some point. So we jumped right in. We didn't wait for you.
That's perfect.
Adam,
I think it was the development of the teams and the team name, George.
Oh, yes, that's what it was. Yes, thank you very much. Your patrol should start coming up with names. I assigned you a number I just made up so we can keep things straight, between Laura and I. Same with the Jamboree unit number. But we would really like you to come up with your own names. And also, you might want, some patrols in past have designed crests. We should be releasing the crest design. I'm
going to be talking about that today.
Well, you can talk about it here as well, so these guys know, and then
So as you've seen in the stores, these are what the crests look like. If you notice, the design for these crests are a little bit different, and there's a reason for that. They're very Asian inspired, but they're also designed to all link together. Okay, so as you can see the participant on the left and the IST one on the right. And there we go. This is the collector's set, all linked together. And the cool thing about these is it's designed that you can put these badges anywhere you want. You can put it like this. You can put it like this. You can design it like this, however you like. There's
Can you
sorry?
Can you put it like that or just like this?
No, and maybe je ne sais quoi, like this.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
So what we've decided to do with the units and patrols is we will be giving you guys this design. Okay. You can design your badge however you like. The only caveat is that we will be using the same vendor for this, which is the vendor that we're using ours. This is to make sure that all badges fit together uniformly. So once we have that information, I've spoken to our supplier, and once we get the information, we're going to share it with you. But I do want to share this design with you guys. Basically, design within here, send it to them. They'll give you a quote on what it is that you want to do, and then once you're trading and you have all those badges, they'll all fit together. And this is not only just for the patrols and units. If there's any ISTs that want to get together and make one, there is an IST one, but if you want to do it for any sort of event, like if you're on a team all together, I know some of our teams are going to be designing their own team badges as well. And then at that point, once they're all produced, and you can trade them and collect them, and then they'll all fit together seamlessly. Questions? Pretty straightforward. So if you guys want, I'm going to put my email in the chat. You guys can reach out to me if you want the vector, and I will send it to you. And then once your badge is designed, also feel free to ask if you need any input, if you need any colors or anything like that. I can supply you with that, and you guys can go ahead and feel free designing your badges. And then once we get the final information from our supplier, that's what we don't know. So our supplier is going to supply it to that. But I didn't want to wait for that information. I wanted to get you guys the image, and then we'll let you guys know more as we know it. And there's a question, when do you need the final design? Don't know yet. We'll waiting to hear from that. And the estimate of the cost will be roughly, we don't know that either. So once you have your design, I would suggest, so you have an idea, our badges are, some of it is being stitched and some is being woven or printed in the background. Okay, and then so it's not all stitched badges.
So
and
a couple
if you
other
decide
questions
not
that
to go
came
with
up.
this company, then you can't use the design because it won't fit in there.
Well, Ruben, hold on. They can use the design. We just can't guarantee that it won't fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are not going to tell you the size, just for it.
Adam's had a question for quite a while. Sorry.
What's the? Oh, where?
I work with youth. I'm patient. So, no, a couple questions for you. First is, do we have a sample code of conduct for the youth to sort of work off of, or have ideas? Maybe something that patrol leaders can look at to say, you've hit the big points. So that was the first question. I've got a second now too.
David, go ahead.
No, go ahead, George.
I was gonna say I don't have any samples. I just would have said look at like a venture code of conduct and start whatever from there. Should cover all the main points. You know, be respectful, be mindful. Take into account that we are going halfway across the world and making sure that we're respectful of other cultures and things like that. That's the way I would work towards it. Certainly, if you want to do a draft one and send it to myself and David and anyone else in the ELT to review, we would be happy to do that for you. Do you have any samples, David? I didn't.
I have a couple samples from past jamborees. I'll dig them up and get them to you. They tend to be on the positive side, Adam. So instead of "I will not hit somebody," it's more like along the lines of exactly what George says. I will be respectful of other people's opinions. I will, it's always on the positive side. What you really need to have there is the consequences of what happens if they are not going to deal with that. And at a venture level, what are the consequences which are meaningful to them? Like, do they get to stay at the site if they, do they call parents? And worst case scenario, what is the sort of line in the sand where we have to phone a parent and say, hey, you need to come and pick your child up at the Toronto airport because we're sending them home, right? Which is usually a grievous breach of scouting etiquette.
Right. Just doing a couple things at once here. The other question I had, oh yeah, those are good, was with the, nope, I've lost it.
Okay, not to worry. If it comes back, just put it in the chat.
Badges, but I'll think of it later.
So Chris has put one up, and this was one that they used for the UK trip last year. So
Perfect. Covered off all the high points that I had.
So I'll just quickly pop in just a re-emphasize of what George has already commented on. And I don't think we can say it enough to the unit leaders and the patrol leaders. You are, from your role, the responsible person for these group of 9 youth. And if you're a unit leader for the group of 36, those 36 youth are somewhat dependent upon how well you pull them together as a team, how well you work with them as a team, and your attitude right throughout the Jamboree experience. That's the role that you sort of signed up for. And the development of the teams that we're trying to do at the patrol level and at the unit level is solely dependent on the 4 of you in each of the units, plus your carers and plus the junior patrol leaders. That is your key. I mean, I think I talked to George and I've talked to a number of our team members, is that if you're not holding probably bi-weekly meetings right now with your units and your patrols, you're probably missing your mark. These youth need to develop into a team for you to take them to the Jamboree so that they have a great time. That's what sort of this is about, and that's where they will really have that experience as part of this team of going to South Korea and meeting the youth from around the world. And your attitudes is what will make or break this. Your willingness to try different things, your willingness to explore, your willingness to go on an adventure. That is the key that will actually make this Jamboree one of the best Jamborees we'll ever have. So George, if I just reiterated exactly what you've said already, I apologize, but it really, really needs to be emphasized for the unit leaders and patrol leaders just on what your role is.
My dog is making noise in the background. I said it, but you said it better than I did. It is imperative that we start to mesh together or gel as a team. Even this team as a whole, we need to make sure that we are all on the same page and working together. It's going to be, we're going to all be very far away from home, and we're going to have to rely on each other. And that's what I'm here for. That's what David and Susie and Remy and all the other Ruben and Marie Claude are all here for, is for, if you need support, come to me first and I will help you somewhere if I can't answer the question. But we are going to be halfway across the world, and we're going to have to rely on each other as a team.
And this is the opportunity to be honest with yourselves, honest with your youth, honest with the other unit leaders and patrol leaders. I've already talked to George. I've already talked to Remy. I've talked to Susie. We've talked about our management styles and skills. My management style If somebody says we need to be there for 7 o'clock, my management style is I need to be there at 6:45. If I'm there any later than 6:45, I'm late. We have other people on our management team. If you say you need to be there at 7 o'clock, they look at that going, that's a roundabout time. So 7:10 is within my sort of understanding of what 7 o'clock is. To me, that will drive me friggin' nuts right throughout the whole jamboree. So I have to manage that on myself, but I also have to let everybody else know what my expectations are. And you need to be honest with your unit leaders and patrol leaders. If you're not good without coffee in the morning, make sure you tell people that. I need coffee before I start actually working or operating with people. If you get grumpy at 10 o'clock at night because you haven't had enough sleep, you need to tell people that. You need to explain to your team what your management style is like, what are your buttons that if somebody pushes and pushes and pushes, what will cause the grief, what makes you happy. Those are all things that you need to have those discussions with your management team, your unit leaders, your patrol leaders. I would also start saying that is what you need to start talking to your youth about as well too. What are the honest to goodness issues that affect them? Okay. How do they operate? And these are great questions. Like in your patrol meetings, 5 minutes into your patrol meeting, can you say, tell me something that bothers you when you're in a group? And then start taking notes. Those are some of the things that you need to sort of have those discussions with so you understand the people you're with. And Mamon, yeah, I need 2 coffees before doing anything. I think you're right on track. I mean, I'm sort of like that as well too. So, and I'm pretty sure Susie is like that as well too. And it became a bit of an issue where there was one coffee machine for 170 scouters, and it took 5 minutes to make a cup of coffee. So, anyways, that's my sort of deal for today.
You got some in mind when you were using those.
There wasn't. Oh, go ahead.
Adam says, so I'll leave you back to the questions there, George.
Sorry, there was a question about how many badges are we going to get? That would be how many ever you wanted to order. So work it out with your youth and it depends on how much of a badge trader you are. So myself for this one, I think I ordered 20 extra of the Jamboree crests or maybe more. The last Jamboree, I had 50 of some of them. It just depends on how much of a badge trader you are and what you want to do with them. Aren't we too late for ordering the Jamboree, those crests? Yes. But I think Adam was referring to the patrol crests if you design one. So you can order as.
Sorry, I disconnected for the first half of that question. The how many do we get before we buy more?
Of the patrol crests?
Correct.
There you would have to buy them all. There are no patrol crests that are free. It is so not every patrol necessarily designs them. But some patrols like to. So if your patrol wants to, put it to them. If they want to design a crest, then they go nuts. They can use the design we have. They can use a different design. Just be in mind if they use something else, it won't fit into that cool thing that we have going. I think if I remember correctly, Mr. Franklin will be able to answer this. How many UK badges were there last time? There was like, you have all but one of them now, don't you? No.
There's right now for the UK between their IST units and their patrol units, there's about 130 patches there right there. And yes, I did get all of them from the last.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. Even the Kentucky Pigeons, the tough one. I got one of those.
There you go. So it's really up to what they want to try and collect. Mexico was another country that had a large number of them. I'm not personally that interested in units, so I didn't collect those. I'm more of a contingent person. So. Any other questions? There hasn't been a whole lot of information from the Jamboree proper since we last spoke, with still lots of just waiting for things to come out, unfortunately. I had some notes from David Puyo, but they're for the larger audience, so I'll wait till the next part of the conversation. Supplies for Culture Day. Let me get into the chat. They both seem to be the same. One question, supplies for Culture Day. If we collect supplies on our own, will the contingent ship them for us? No. We have no way of shipping. We're only bringing our own luggage ourselves. So you're going to have to get them there yourself. Can we get what we are allowed to do as for food on Culture Day? So I believe that should be part of your plan to Emily, and her team will help you with that, reviewing and what can and cannot be brought, and or if we can get it over there. Does that sound right, David? I know you've been working closely with Emily for that. Frederick, sorry. Or Franklin.
Yeah, so working with Emily, if it's food items, we do have a budget, guys. So, you know, I think we've shared you the price of the budget of what we're expecting per person. That being the case, if it is food items and it is part of the budget of your unit, then we can work on that. And if it's food items, we can work with David Franklin to ensure that we have that product there for you.
I'm just going in order. One of the parents told me the pre-camp itinerary was online, but I couldn't find it anywhere. We have not posted our pre-camp itinerary yet. I believe the travel team's still working it through. Oh, I'm looking at Marley Claude. She's on part of that team as well. So it is not online. Go ahead.
I don't know if David is here. We have the confirmation that everything is settled, everything is good. We're just confirming the numbers and all. We've been working on the travel plans more than the pre-camp, because the pre-camp is already pretty much organized. But no, we haven't put anything yet. If David put something, it would be like the last couple of days.
I can answer
but I haven't seen anything. So
I can answer that one. It's going to be in the next newsletter, hopefully within the next week or two. All the pre-camp stuff.
So that's a great question, guys. And I'll be honest with you. There are 140 different contingents, NSOs, going to this World Jamboree. And there's probably 140 different pre-camps and post-camps going to the Jamboree. Unless we send you information, unless we put it on the Canadian website, please do not look at that information as being gospel. We will provide you the pre-camp information of what we're doing as a pre-camp for our contingent. But I understand that some of the other contingents have already sent some information out, as well as there was a third party who was starting to contact NSOs and participants about post and pre-jamboree items. So again, if it's coming from us, coming from Ruben, that's the gospel truth.
Yeah. It'll be in the next newsletter. It will be a travel specific newsletter.
Excellent. A couple more questions. How would we know if everybody in your unit has ordered their contingent kit? So the team that is working on that will start contacting, I believe, the people that hadn't ordered their contingent kit. Is that, Susie, you know, with Rob?
So when you registered, you would have put your shirt size in there. The only thing we will be contacting them on is hat sizes, because those are actually something that we need to get definitive.
The question was, how do we know if anyone in their units didn't do it?
We can see if, well, Rob will go through and figure out which ones haven't ordered hats.
That's what I thought.
Send that. Yeah.
So another question about Culture Day. If we choose beaver tails, can we get oil for deep frying? That's probably a David Franklin question.
Yeah, this is a different situation for procuring food. I suspect there will be some deep frying that's going on. Your biggest consideration, I applaud you, and I will find you if you're doing beaver tails on Culture Day. I'll be coming by with my plate and fork. Think about what to do with the waste oil. I have not. I'll be deep frying at the Canada Food House, and there will be some kind of waste oil disposal on there. But if deep frying is your game, just think of how you're going to transport it. I'll get an answer for you on where it can go. Please don't put it in the outhouses. Please don't drop. No, there's only one thing that's supposed to go. Well, two things that's supposed to go into those, and we don't need to talk about that. But if it's gray water from your dishes, pots, pans, waste product from the preparation of food or the cooking of food, that does not go into those receptacles. But I'll help you find a solution for waste oil from frying. I'll get an answer for that.
Hi, it's Laura. The problem was in West Virginia that we weren't allowed to use oil because of their system. We've been told that South Korean food does require deep frying for a number of things, so they are prepared for us to have oil. So it's just a very different situation.
Couple more questions before I let everybody else in, so they're not waiting too long. When will we have a list of the provided unit gear? That's still coming. We're not waiting. So what's in their contingent? When the unit lands, they get like 3 stoves, 2 pots, a sponge, and a ladle. We don't have that information yet. As when we do, we will provide it. So we don't know when it's coming. Is that a right answer, Susie?
Yes, we will have that. They're guessing probably in the new year. They're working on suppliers to ensure the right amount of everything is going to be there.
And then the last question sorry, Susie replied. So
And then Carol had a question that we sort of skipped over. Absolutely, Carol. That's in the newsletter. That's the information that we provided you on our pre-camp, sort of big picture of what we're doing for the 4 days in pre-camp.
All right. So without any further fanfare, pass it over to Chef David. And he can start talking about what we're cooking and what's going on. And go ahead.
Well, merci, George. Thank you very much. Just to introduce myself again. There goes my timer. just on time. Everything's working. Fantastic. Well, it's great. It's great to have everybody here tonight. My name's David. I am the food house manager and also the vice chair for all of the international food houses. We finally have a total on there. There's going to be 32 different countries providing food and culture, and stoked to see everybody, all of our Canadian participants there and join us in the food house. Come by and visit. It's a great place to grab a snack, put your feet up, and experience a little bit of something different. Certainly that was the case, not being a global traveler earlier in the year. I mean, I've traveled throughout the United States and throughout Canada, but it's only fairly recently that I got into global cuisine and immersing myself in it. So the first slide that we've got up here, this is actually the restaurant at the airport that we had a great chance to check out, and this was my dinner. This is called bibimbap. It is a rice dish. You can see that it's served in a very large stone bowl, and there's sticky rice in there. We're gonna, for anybody that's cooking along, you've got some sticky rice. I hope that we're gonna be serving with your ribs, because that's what I'm serving with mine. But the rice continues to cook and crisp and get caramelized and crunchy, and then you've got all these different toppings on top, and you see some additional condiments that are along there. There was some black beans and oh my gosh, kimchi. Can't believe I lost that. You're gonna get kimchi with every meal. There is some seaweed and some peppers and broth. So the idea is you mix all the ingredients together and eat all of that, and the pickled carrots and the tofu and the beans that are all in there, all the vegetables, tons of vegetables, and then to kind of lift everything up off the bottom, when you get down to all the rice, you pour that broth on top of it, and then you have like a little bit of a soup on there. But that was a fantastic dish. Right off the airplane, that was dinner day one. Loved it. A lot of rice, a lot of noodles prevalent. If we got the next slide that's on there, I think that's a noodle dish. Oh, no. Baskin and Robbins. Baskin and Robbins always finds out. That's a little mochi. So that's ice cream that's in a. I don't want to call it rice paper. It's more like a dough, but it's pliable. It's very, very soft. But yeah, you'll see some brands there, quite possibly that you're familiar with, like Baskin and Robbins. But if you haven't had mochi before, check it out. I think President's Choice brands have one, and there's a couple others that you might find at the grocery store if you're looking at having a little night of your own. That's a neat little treat to have. What have we got next? Breakfast. Bacon and eggs. That's kind of a North American thing, or UK. Not necessarily. I can't say the last time I had a pasta salad and roasted squash for breakfast, but that's definitely the direction that we had. Our first morning, we actually complete the next day at our study tour. Lots of vegetables, but some roasted and grilled vegetables, some hard-boiled eggs. In the glass is a little fruit smoothie, and there was a fruit salad that was on that plate too. And forewarning, it had a nice garlic vinaigrette on it. So again, some different flavors, some different textures than what you might be familiar with, but it was very light. And actually, after having the long flight the day before, it was a nice reprieve. Because it certainly was better than the food served on the airplane. Are you flipping the slides for us there, Ruben?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this is just a walking tour that we had on there.
Oh.
Most of us would have a cold cellar or a root cellar, perhaps, in our homes. Not a lot of basements in Saint-Mangum, and this house was storing all the root vegetables hanging from sacks on the underhang of their home. I thought it was interesting. I hadn't seen anything like that before. An outdoor root cellar. This is PHB. I'm not sure what the acronym stands for, but we saw this all over Jeanju, these PHB stands. So I've got another picture, I think, that's right after that, I hope, of they're basically like moon pies. Oh, no, never mind. It'll come up. But PHB is they're everywhere, like Tim Hortons is here, or Robin's Donuts if you live up north. And they're like a cookie / cake, and there's this marshmallow sort of cream filling that's in the middle of it. Some are dipped in chocolate. I'm hoping the slide will come up. They actually have them packaged in boxes so that you can ship. They're really big on shipping food. Some of the fruits and vegetables, I may have a slide coming up. They're just exquisite looking things, wrapped beautifully in a shipping box, and that's for mailing to your family or shipping to your family. The next one, Ruben's excited about this one. This is pizza. This was the barbecued pork pizza that we had at a restaurant. Their pizza may be different than if your world of pizza is like Domino's and Little Caesars. This may look unfamiliar to you. This had 6 pieces of roasted pork on there with a sticky, sweet, earthy barbecue sauce that was on there, and melted cheese and green onions. Barbecued pork pizza, everybody. Their street food game is exciting. There was a number of booths that were on there, and you could see this is a couple of different barbecued meats on these long skewers. They're probably about 45, 50 centimeters long, these skewers, and covered in this just gorgeous smelling barbecue sauce. Again, a little spicy, a little sour. If you're wondering what the white stuff this is on a couple of those, that was glazed like a mayonnaise topping on there that they torched. And thought that'd be a lot of fun for you guys to see that. There's a variety of those. The next slide in there is octopus. So they were steaming skewers of octopus, and again finishing those on the barbecue. And yeah, oh yeah, that's right, ready. They were a lot of fun. Everybody's eating these long skewers as you're going around Jeonju. And for any IST on the call, I think that's one of your tour days for the IST. Or maybe I should have saved that for later. But anyhow.
And you get the whole skewer? It's the whole entire skewer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't overly expensive. I think I think the beef and pork and chicken skewers may have been 8,000, 9,000 won, which would translate to about $8 or $9. If you think about roughly 1,000 won, roughly is about a dollar. Just to give you a ballpark number. The exchange rate's a little different right now. I think it's gone up a bit, but I mean, just to give you a rough number to work with. But yeah, grilled octopus skewers. Oh, there's that's PHB. That's the moon pies, all the different filled cookies and pastries that are in there, and you can either buy individuals or box sets and stuff like that. But I crushed about a half dozen of those as we were walking around. Yeah, kind of like a Joe Louis or a moon pie or like a jumbo filled cookie. They were more cake than cookie. Our favorite treat, right, Remy, was the bingsu. So this is like a giant sundae, but instead of ice cream on the bottom, it's a shaved, sweetened dairy ice. But it's flaky. But as soon as you put a spoonful in your mouth, it looks like shaved ice crystals. But you put it in your mouth and it melts, and it's very, very much the flavor profile and texture of ice cream. And there's a variety of different toppings on there, from black bean and squash to green tea. I think I might have a close up if it's in order. I'm hoping. Nope. Never mind. Slides are out of order. Lots of street food. So there's street food, and then there's a whole bunch of fast food chains that you've never heard of. This was Chicken Box. And the next one we've got is another restaurant table in Jeonju. This was dinner one night. Where we had a pot of that wasn't tea in the pot. I'll just leave the rest of that conversation for another time. But there's a wide variety of dishes that are on there. Again, you would have a bowl of rice that is your own, and then everybody shares the everything from the vegetable pancake to the fried eggs to grilled fish and vegetables and a wide variety of products that would be served family style and different condiments on there. I think there's the sliced pork dish that was out there, had the little tiny marinated, pickled, fermented shrimp on them. I didn't try them. I'm highly allergic to crustaceans, but they were salty. And chicken was served as one of the courses or part of the meal, and it comes out in a pot in broth, and it's just the chicken hanging out in broth with some green onions, and that was just partially cooked. And by the time you get halfway through your meal, it's ready, and you're served a pair of tongs and scissors, and you cut it up. And the scissors are a regular table instrument for serving of food, and in addition to their chopsticks and their spoons, you'll see tongs and
I think it over here on this picture shows it.
Yeah,
at the bottom left.
That's right. Yeah, I'm looking at my cell phone, Ruben. So it's about the size of a postage stamp for me. I'm trying to.
Yeah, you can see the tongs and the scissors and the spoon and the chopstick.
And chopsticks. Everybody should work on their chopstick game. There's chicken in the bath. Again, some brands you may recognize, some other brands that you won't. So this is just at a convenience store that we checked out there, and you can get your Pringles. You'll probably find them in different flavors, but lots of chips. They are very much a snack culture. Lots of snacks in all the stores and shops.
I like the spicy garlic prawn.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try that when we're there.
get after it, man. This was breakfast on another day where we had a roasted sweet potato, and there's the ever-present squash or a hard-boiled egg, a little green salad this time with the garlic marinated fruit, and a couple slices of pork sausage. And you can see the bread item that's on there. This particular area that we're going to, they're very big on this stuffed French bread, like a baguette, and it's filled with like a barbecue chicken salad served warm.
Oh.
Oh, we were very happy. You can see the smile on Susie's face. We found coffee. Hot coffee, hard to come by. Cold coffee everywhere. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. If you have a caffeine addiction, maybe you want to get used to having iced coffees, because that's generally the norm there. Hot coffee. If you were to order at a restaurant an Americano, it'll probably come out served over ice. Vending machines, vending, as I mentioned with the snack culture, definitely a vending machine culture. I've got a couple of cool ones in here. This is just some drinks, different bottled flavored waters and energy drinks in there. I saw a comment there from Robin. I would have thought this would have been a tea culture as well. I would have thought seeing hot tea would have been prevalent everywhere. Cold coffee. This was, I can't make out the.
Looks like ice cream or something, or
yeah, all kinds of ice cream in that machine. We have like Dippin' Dots, and you've seen those around. That was some different ice cream dishes. Thanks. Oh, Susie, properly caffeinated. Very important. Yeah. This was one of my favorite restaurant experiences. Remy and I jumped into here. So this was some gochujang chicken, and I'm hoping the slide maybe accompanying it. We hopped in here. Nope, never mind.
Oh.
So gochujang, we're going to be using that ingredient tonight, and that's I'll get that right up to my camera screen on there. So that is a chili and soybean paste. And very prevalent, ssamjang or gochujang, very prevalent in there. So it's like a barbecue sauce. Instead of using tomato paste to make it thick, that would probably we would be more familiar with. They're using soybean. So this was deep fried pieces of chicken tossed in this barbecue sauce and then finished on a griddle, and it was pretty yummy. I really enjoyed that. And they had these little potato dumplings that went along with them. Yeah, next slide was definitely a warm, you got a dozen warm Krispy Kremes out of this machine. Super cool. That was in the Seoul Union Station. Doing a day trip in Seoul. You'll find that machine in there. And the heavenly smells coming from the waffle shop. Oh my goodness. If you weren't hungry, you were hungry like being anywhere near that. Fantastic fillings, and they were having like waffle sandwiches and stuff like that out of this particular shop.
I was going to ask if it's just sweet or do they have savory stuff?
I only got as far as the sweet ones, Ruben.
Okay.
I didn't see any corn waffles or anything like that. I suspect that they were probably on the menu there.
Okay.
We had the great experience of going to a cooking school while we were in there, and this is the chef instructor, charming lady. You can see that little symbol that they've got going on there. That was good luck, and you'll see a lot of that. Your thumb basically making like a pinching look. You got your thumb and your forefinger crossed, and that's a sign of good luck. You'll see them posing like that instead of this. It's that. This was the entranceway into her cooking school. Was a living garden, and you could pick your vegetables on your way through.
Oh.
Okay. Got to catch them all. These are little ice cream treats that were in the shop in there. I've seen a couple of them before. I just thought this store was dedicated to these kinds of things. They love cute cartoon characters and lots of stuff like that. Thanks. This was breakfast on day 3. We had cold scrambled eggs, avocados, the green salad with fruit, a couple of grilled sausages, and some French baguette. And
Any butter?
Do we have chicken wings that morning? Maybe not.
Do they serve butter or anything with it, or no? Just like
Nope.
that?
Just like that. You mash the avocado. You spread the avocado across the top of it.
Oh.
You actually have to ask for things like butter, hot coffee, things like that. If you want it for breakfast at a restaurant, you have to request it because it's not something they normally serve with their food.
Yeah. So again, another typical sort of Korean family style meal. You've got a variety of condiments and pickled or roasted vegetables, some kimchi on there, an omelet, that sort of thing. This is very typical, and I would say while you're on your pre-camp days, you'll probably have a meal that looks like this probably once a day. Lots of variety that was on there. There'll be a variety of stuff that's on there. I think you guys will enjoy. You get somebody to explain what you've got in front of you, because some of the dishes are spicy, and if spicy is not your jam, there's a fair bit of chilies that are used there. But just because the chilies are present in a dish doesn't mean that they're wicked hot. But they're highly flavored, highly seasoned dishes. Thanks. I just love the little cow there. Barbecue restaurant. Didn't know what it said, but barbecue.
Pork is love.
This is just an open market that we saw. There's a lot of street markets in Korea. So when you're in the downtown, the business districts, it's a lot of office buildings. But as soon as you get away from that core, it's very much you see the umbrellas and just boxes and boxes of produce or fish on ice right out the sidewalk. Lots of stuff to get. This is an inconvenience store. In that bottom freezer, there are cups of ice in the freezer, and then you select one of these pouches, and those pouches have a flavored coffee or tea of some sort. Some have dairy in them, some don't. Some are sweetened, some aren't. But you rip the top off, you pour your pouch over top of the ice, and grab a straw, and that's what you've got instead of Tim Hortons.
Are these everywhere?
Very prevalent in your convenience stores. I don't know what's going to be on site at the Jamboree, but definitely as you're doing your walking tours and things like that, if you're looking for a Tim Hortons, you're not going to find it. But if you want caffeine, there it is in a pouch.
And it's only like what, $1.10, $1.20, $1.30?
If you could zoom in there, they're probably about 2,000 won, 2,500 won.
No, 1,300, 1,200 to like 700.
Yeah,
so
depending on the flavor and if it's got sweetener of some sort or a syrup or dairy in it. Usually like a black coffee is going to be cheaper than a triple.
Nice.
Again, just going back to the snack thing. Get your dried squid. Here's your dried squid.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
Dried squid.
Yum. I can't wait.
Crunchy, dried squid.
Is it crunchy or is it soft?
Didn't eat it.
They're all crunchy? I want to try them all.
I think you could have a lot of fun experimenting and trying some different things. You know, if everybody sort of went into a shop and you tried the smoked egg, somebody bought a smoked egg and somebody bought some squid and somebody bought, you know, if you wanted to try some things as a patrol, I think you could have a lot of fun doing some team building when you're all together and walking around.
What's a smoked egg?
That's exactly what it sounds like. Instead of roasting, they'll cook them in the shell.
Yeah.
And so instead of putting them in an oven or a water or a steamer, they're putting them in a smoker.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they're already smoked.
Already smoked, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you just peel them and eat them like a hard-boiled egg.
Oh, wow.
Is English on the package common? I got to go with no. Some of them you'll be able to figure out what they are because there's a pictogram or there's some kind of image on the package. But if you have food allergies, intolerances, or sensitivities, I would highly recommend finding an app on your phone that can translate for you.
There was another question, perhaps Marie-Claude can answer. Is there going to be free time on the pre-camp?
Sorry. All right, good. The sound wasn't on. There's going to be some free time. I know that the first day we'll be walking a lot, visiting a lot, but it's not going to be always organized and visiting and switching to places. And you will have the time with, together to spend time together and talk and experience all those great, food machines on your way. Yes, there will be some alone time also when we'll be back for sleeping. And yes, you'll be able to go on your own for a couple of hours to see the place. Was that the question? Yes.
No, was there anything else in there for questions?
I don't know, but was that the question? Yeah, I answered the question.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Good, thanks.
So what do we got here? This was another style of breakfast. You can see a wide variety of condiments and dishes in there. Kimchi, again, served with every meal. Salad, very typical thing for breakfast. And some of you may be thinking, why on this earth would I be wanting to have a salad at breakfast? Is iceberg lettuce is a great diuretic. So if you're at camp and you're crampy and not able to handle the time change and the change of food and timing and all that stuff, the iceberg lettuce is a good thing for getting things moving, shall we say. Very handy. Have a salad. At breakfast, sauteed mushrooms and peppers. Why not, right? A wide variety of shiitake and inotake mushrooms that were in there. This was some braised pork. I threw that on an English muffin with my fried egg, and it was it was pretty tasty, man.
That actually sounds really good.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll have the opportunity to try your own fusion with food there. This is when we were clamming. So this particular restaurant was very well known for their clams, and it was a dish very similar to congee. It was a rice porridge. And again, kimchi, black beans, a wide variety of other small dishes. There was some cabbage and onions that were served alongside it. Some roasted sesame or toasted sesame oil to dress, and of course more mushrooms that were in there.
The chopsticks, they look like they're metal
chopsticks, and they are round, sort of elliptical or oval in shape. A little different style than if you've been to your Mandarin or a Chinese restaurant. The Korean chopsticks are a little bit of a different shape, bit of weight to them, but just as easy to manage with some practice.
So there's a question in the chat that says we should have no concerns about eating uncooked vegetables. I guess that should we have any concerns about eating uncooked vegetables?
I know there's a lot of discussion groups, and this comes up quite often in the food house managers meeting that we have monthly and have for the last year or so. A lot of questions about potable water and produce that's in there. If it's being served to you on a plate in a restaurant, I would be 100% comfortable with that. If I were walking along the street and grabbing something from a vendor, I would probably want to have that product washed.
Excellent.
But if you're in a restaurant, you'll be good to go. Tap water is good, but I wouldn't be grabbing. I wouldn't be filling my water bottle from a faucet on the side of a building. If it's not designated drinking water or potable water, I would recommend searching a water source elsewhere.
Si tu permets, if you don't mind, I'm going to translate this one because I think it's important. La question était par rapport à tout ce qui s'appelle, tout ce qui n'est pas cuit. Donc, si c'est servi dans un restaurant, vous n'avez pas à avoir peur. Ce n'est pas comme dans des pays où c'est qu'il y a beaucoup de maladies par rapport à ça. Par contre, si c'est vendu dans la rue, c'est pas clair si ça a été lavé avant. Des fois, les protocoles ne sont pas les mêmes. Bon, on vous suggère peut-être de demander des lavés avant ou même de vous les laver avant de les consommer ou tout simplement passer votre tour. Même chose pour l'eau. Assurez-vous qu'elle vient d'une source qui est potable et qui a l'air legit. Sinon, ben, peut-être, oui, y aller pour de l'eau en bouteille pour une fois. Merci.
Thank you. And there was a request for where the meeting links get posted. Ruben, can you post that link after?
Yeah.
And
it should have been
this
the
will get
last
up.
email. But yeah, I'll post it after on our YouTube page.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, that's Chef Walter Canny. So as I mentioned, I'm the vice chair for the food house committees. Chef Walter from Thailand. He's our chair, and you'll definitely be seeing him around the food house village. His English is very, very good. I think he speaks about 7 other languages, and he is a gas to hang around with.
And that's the site behind you guys.
Yeah, that's the fields. Just imagine that big peach of grass that you see there, everybody. See that with about 40,000 tents. Oh, another style of caffeine delivery system. So these are cups that are already filled with coffee, and you'll see a wide variety of flavors in them. Just like you go to the grocery store and see the aisle of yogurt, Greek yogurt or whatever, they'll have an aisle in convenience stores and grocery stores of coffees served just like that. This was a day we were on tour, and just for your own information, this is kimchi. These are fermentation pots, outdoors, dark pots, just using the heat of the sun for the pots of kimchi. And you'll see another style right there. Oh, actually, my following slide actually follows my thought. So these are soy sauce. So these, you can see they're insulated, so they're trying to really control the temperature of this more dramatically. They want a more even temperature, so that's why you see these pots encased in sand and concrete. So they've got a more even temperature for the fermentation of their soy sauce. And yes, the soy sauce does taste different from the different ways that it's produced. being a chef and doing that, I've tried a wide variety of soy sauces, and I guarantee you they are wildly different in their flavor, the sodium content, sort of where the umami sort of hits your palate and all that. It's quite a bit different. Oh, those are stuffed chicken wings, the things of legend. Grilled, stuffed chicken wings stuffed with sausage.
Ooh.
I didn't ask about the sausage, but the chicken wings were delicious.
Oh.
Yeah, super. Their street food game is on the top. Just a little blow up of what some of those little side dishes were that were served along with the noodles. This particular dish, you see the large pot there had sliced tofu and vegetables on a bed of noodles in broth, and that's up to a rolling boil in front of you on one of those little butane burners, those butane cassette burners. Those are great things to start practicing cooking on. If you know what I mean, the little cassette burners, you can pick them up at a Canadian Tire or an outdoors store. I should have had one out to show you guys, but that's what you'll be cooking on when you're at the Jamboree. And so there's a big pot that's on there, and then you got your dish of rice, and you pull your condiments over onto your rice, and you take a ladle of the vegetables and broth and noodles and meat, and you have that over top of your rice. Double starch, very common.
And that's the last one.
Is this the last one that's in there? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So the last slide in here, this temple is the south gate to Korea in Jeonju, and it's an inspiring building to go and look at it. And I'm sure when you're on your pre-camp, there is just going to be some absolutely stunning pieces of architecture and culture, and some of these buildings are hundreds of years old. Certainly buildings that are much older than anything that we have standing in Canada. So take a moment to pause, reflect, and enjoy what you're seeing while you're there. That's a beautiful, beautiful country.
I hope everyone's nice and hungry or nice and full now. I want to look at things. And yeah, so I know Ruben has some stuff he wants to talk about now.
Yeah, just really
Jump right
fast.
into that.
I'm not gonna keep you guys on too long. I just want to quickly talk about. Let me just see if I can find. How do I share? There we go. All right. Where did I put that? There we go. All right. So I just want to talk quickly just about the badges. As you've seen in the Scout Shop, these are what our badges look like. They're very Asian inspired with the little curly cues there, the little curls we have there. The reason for them also is because, as you saw with our collector's badge, they all link together. And once you start getting different badges, you can start linking them any way you want, right? You can link them like this. You can put them together this way as well. Any way that you guys can imagine, you can put them all together. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with your patrol unit leaders this shape. If you guys want, and it's up to you guys, you can do also your own unit and patrol badges in this shape. We will then head over to our supplier, and they will do it for you guys. You will be responsible for getting in touch with them. I will give you all that information once we have it all finalized. But you get in touch with them, you'll get a quote from them, how much it will cost, and then you work through it with your patrol and unit to get them produced. Also for
Ruben,
teams, yes.
Ruben, do you mind if I translate this part?
Yes, please do.
Donc, la forme a été une inspiration asiatique, vraiment coréenne. On est les seuls avec cette à date, en tout cas, avec cette forme-là. Donc, vous avez vu comment vous avez pu les agencer. Ruben va faire parvenir, si vous voulez, si vous décidez de faire un badge propre à votre unité, à votre patrouille. Donc, vous envoyez un peu les dimensions et tout ça. Et la personne également là, qui pourrait vous les fournir. Là, ça s'en vient bientôt. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, so now just imagine these with all your different patrols, unit badges, team badges, and it'll be a nice large collage that you can put together any way that you want on your blankets, on your whatever you like. All right. We'll get all the information as soon as we have it to your patrol and unit leaders, and then you guys can start discussing there. I'm available too. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll supply you with this image for you to do it.
Donc, Ruben fait dire que si vous avez des questions, ça va lui faire plaisir de répondre à vos questions. Je répète que ceci n'est pas une obligation non plus. C'est juste une façon de pouvoir tout coordonner vos badges ensemble puis de vous les échanger entre vous autres. Mais il n'y a rien, absolument rien qui est obligatoire. Par contre, si ça vous tente d'embarquer là-dedans, tous les Patrol Unit Leaders, là, tous vos animateurs d'unités et de patrouille vont recevoir les informations. Merci.
So there was a couple questions in the Pauline's answered one of them. For the letter ones and the Canada ones, they were available in the pre-order store, I think, right? The Christmas store? Is
No.
where they first appear? Where did the ones that say Canada come from? With the letters?
In the current store that closed last week.
So they're already closed then, yes. Okay, sorry. And then this next question, there's two people that have asked it, and I think it's because you haven't been assigned for patrols. So Rod Nelson asked, how do we know what patrol you're in? That's me. I am, Laura just got the information to me last week about the newer people that have joined the contingent, and I just haven't gotten around to replying back to you about patrol options. So I believe that's Rod and Xavier. That would be you two that are in that situation. You'll have emails from me tomorrow at the latest for this. For that. I have a couple of notes from our travel person who is unable to make it, David Puyo. So he has a couple of reminders for people that he asked me to send out. If if you have new passport information, once your renewal has been processed, please make sure you send it to the travel team as soon as possible. And the second one, if you... Sorry,
do you mind if I translate right now?
Oh, please.
OK. Donc, ceux qui n'auraient pas encore envoyé leurs informations pour le passeport ou s'ils ont reçu leur nouveau numéro de passeport, ça serait vraiment important d'envoyer ça à David là, pour qu'on puisse mettre ça à jour.
And the second reminder, if you had requested an extension to confirm your return date, please reply to the email that was sent to you by the travel team.
Donc, si vous aviez demandé pour une extension, thank you. I wasn't sure. Bon, ben c'est ça, si vous avez demandé une extension pour rester plus longtemps, vous êtes supposé avoir reçu un courriel où on vous demande des petites spécifications, dont les dates, les choses comme ça. Donc, n'hésitez pas à répondre à ce courriel-là pour être sûr et certain de pouvoir avoir ce privilège et cette opportunité-là de le faire. Thank you.
Merci. That's all the questions in the chat. I don't have. Will the Canada badges be available later? No. Right? That's the last of the store.
Dommage, ils seront pas. Okay.
Susie's shaking her head. No.
Okay.
We may have a few, but not until we go through with the supplier on Tuesday night. Will we know what that number is? But the store closed on.
You made a pause, Susie. You made a pause. That's why
Oui, absolument.
I started translating.
C'est votre tour maintenant.
Ah, bon. Non, on ne pourra pas recommander des badges comme ça. Ça se pourrait qu'il y en ait un léger surplus, mais ça reste à confirmer à la suite de la commande globale. Back to you, Susie.
Question is, if we didn't order badges, will we still get one for going? Yes, everybody should. Ruben's shaking his head to that too. There was a Canada one and a participant one, or just a participant one.
Donc,
Participant
les
for sure.
badges, and we're going to answer Adam. Also, he said some badges are included with your kit. Yes. C'était les badges là, de IST et de participants. Donc, oui, vous allez en avoir quand même là, pour qui étaient déjà dans votre kit. Mais vous ne pourrez pas en avoir d'extra si vous ne l'avez pas commandé.
You'll get one as a participant or an IST, whatever your role is. You'll get, I forget how many badges.
Donc, quelques badges. Si vous êtes IST ou participant, vous allez recevoir celle qui est associée. Vous allez en avoir quelques-unes là, pour faire des échanges.
There was another question. When is the next meeting about Cultural Day? The presentations are due the next meeting like this, so the third Sunday of January. Your patrol unit leader should be able to tell you that information as well.
Donc, troisième semaine de janvier, on va faire notre rencontre pour Cultural Day. Donc, c'est là qu'il va y avoir là, la présentation des jeunes et des idées. Votre leader de patrouille devrait être au courant et vous envoyer l'invitation. Et il y a quelqu'un qui a été très gentil et de mettre les dates dans le chat. Merci.
So that's a great question. It's Dave Frederick. I'm going to jump in here for a second. So to the participants, to the youth, you should be meeting now with your unit leaders and your patrol leaders. If you're not meeting with your unit leaders and patrol leaders, please contact George to ensure that you have their contact information and that you can actually get in touch with them. The expectation is over the next 6 months, you will be meeting quite regularly with your patrol leaders and your units and your patrols. And you will be working together and getting to know each other over the next 6 to 7 months. We would like you to do that because we would like you to know who you're going to be camping with for at least 12 days when we're in South Korea. So if that is not occurring at the moment, please contact George and we will see what the issue is, whether there's a missed email, a missed comments or something along that lines. But you should be now getting to the point that you're going to be meeting with your unit leaders and definitely with your patrol leaders, probably twice a month, if that's the case, depending on what your patrol leader and yourselves as a patrol would like to meet. Because there's going to be an awful lot of information coming your way over the next 4 to 5 months, which have really strict deadlines to that you will need to know the information for. One of the first one is the cultural day. And so we're asking you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my memory is not as good as it used to be. Donc, en fait, David, je pense qu'il met l'emphase sur le fait que en date d'aujourd'hui, vous devriez avoir rencontré vos leaders de patrouille, vos leaders d'unité. Si ce n'est pas encore fait, si vous avez pas encore eu de communication avec ces personnes-là, c'est super important de communiquer avec George ou Rémi, passer à travers Rémi là, pour être capable d'aller chercher le nom, les coordonnées de cette personne-là, puis qu'on soit capable de faire un suivi pour recevoir toute l'information. Peut-être prévoir 2 réunions par mois avec votre unité pour être sûr d'avoir toutes les informations, puis être capable justement de bâtir cette fameuse journée culturelle. Mais n'hésitez pas à nous appeler s'il y a quoi que ce soit au niveau du travail avec l'unité ou la patrouille. Merci.
There's a question in here that I think is a mixture of French and English, so I'm going to do my best. It says, can we buy more foulard to do some échange? So I think 2 of those words are French, at least. It's from...
Okay, I don't see it. Well, échange means sharing, trading, not sharing,
yeah,
but trading.
So I thought, can we buy some more badges to trade? Is that what that says? I believe.
Scarf. Foulard, c'est scarf. It's a scarf. Neckers.
It's neckers.
Des foulards.
Well,
Foulard.
that's why I don't speak French.
So those who are online who have had issues or who are having issues with the store, which closed as of Friday, Again, information was provided to participants 3 weeks ago on how long the store was going to be open and things. So, but if you have had issues, please contact us immediately. Okay, please contact George immediately. We will look to resolve your issues.
Donc, ceux qui auraient eu de la difficulté avec le magasin, ça serait vraiment important de contacter George ou encore une fois Rémi pour qu'on puisse vous diriger vers les bonnes personnes ou du moins avertir. Peut-être qu'on va être capable de faire quelque chose. Thank you.
Someone said that just flagging that this is happening during the high school exams. The cultural day information went out at November, so there's been 2 months to prepare for this. The presentation is 3 minutes per patrol, so between the 9 of you, I would hope you could figure out how to get that presented, or per jamboree unit, not even just per patrol, I believe. It's per jamboree unit. So there's 36 people that should be able to help get that presentation across.
And I'll jump in again, folks. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Not going to be very long. Ça fait quand même quelques semaines là, que ce message-là est envoyé autant aux leaders d'unités ou de patrouilles, donc pour le Cultural Day. Donc, si vous semblez surpris, c'est peut-être parce qu'il y a eu un manque de communication. Encore là, n'hésitez pas à faire un suivi avec nous pour qu'on puisse rectifier la situation. Je pense qu'à 36 personnes, vous allez être capable de pondre quelque chose qui va avoir bien de l'allure. Merci.
One of the strong things that we're trying to push from the Scouts Canada perspective and the Association de Scouts to Canada is Canada's DIE and cultural reconciliation and traditions. And one of the key parts of that is we are a nation not just of lumberjacks, maple syrup, and pancakes. We are a nation that is of all types. And what we're trying to provide for both the units and the patrols is to you, the youth, to showcase who you are.
Donc, ce qui est important pendant la journée culturelle, c'est pas juste de présenter le côté bûcheron, poutine et compagnie, c'est vraiment de montrer les jeunes au Canada, c'est quoi, c'est qui maintenant. Vous venez de différents backgrounds, vous venez de différents pays, vous venez de différentes cultures. Et on l'a vu avec les journées de réconciliation, que c'est important d'écouter toutes ces personnes-là, puis de voir la diversité qu'on a, nous, au Canada. Puis c'est ce qu'on veut parler. Le Canada, présentement, les jeunes ont l'air de quoi? Donc, c'est vers ça qu'on regarde.
The Atlantic provinces are different than Quebec, that are different than Alberta, that are different from our north, that are different from our Indigenous, that are different from the West Coast, that are different from the Central Ontario. We are a country of uniqueness, and we need to showcase that to the world.
Ah, j'aime ça. Uniqueness, that's perfect. Effectivement, on est un pays où il y a une grande diversité. On ne parlera pas juste de la langue, de la culture et tout ça, mais on parle juste d'une province à l'autre, à quel point ça peut être différent. Et c'est ça qu'on veut mettre en lumière, c'est ça qu'on veut mettre vraiment de l'avant pour cette journée culturelle-là.
This is very important to you as well as to us, okay? The reason being is this will help develop who you are as a patrol as well, and for you to develop the opportunities to prepare and work in that patrol.
Et cette organisation-là de la journée culturelle, c'est non seulement de se faire connaître, mais aussi d'apprendre à travailler ensemble, d'apprendre à vous connaître, d'être ouvert aussi à ce que tous les gens ont à offrir. Donc, ça vous permet d'apprendre déjà à travailler en équipe, apprendre à vous découvrir vous aussi à travers toutes ces personnes-là qui vont combler votre quotidien pendant 14 jours.
The theme of the Jamboree is Draw Your Dream. That's what we're trying to do for ourselves, folks.
Le thème du Jam, c'est Dessine ton rêve ou Dessine tes rêves. Donc, c'est ce qu'on veut aussi à travers cette journée culturelle-là. C'est non seulement de vous présenter où comme vous êtes présentement, mais aussi vous allez vers quoi, c'est quoi vos rêves, c'est quoi vos aspirations. Donc, en espérant que ça peut vous inspirer pour compléter ou finaliser cette belle journée culturelle-là.
And the last thing to say, it's an adventure and have fun. That's the key about this.
Et, comme David le dit si bien, c'est une aventure et c'est important de le faire dans le plaisir, d'avoir du fun, that's a word you understand, d'avoir du fun en le faisant tout en étant ouvert aux autres.
Thank you, George.
You're most welcome. I hope everyone had a great time. If there's no more questions, and is that a gaming chair? Not really. It's just a chair I ordered off of Amazon. It's sort of like a gaming chair. But what I was going to say is I hope everyone has a very happy holiday and a very good new year. And we will see you in January. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. And that's it. I will stick around for the ISTs because their meeting is coming up. And if there isn't anyone, but that's okay. Yes.
So there was a quick note there from one of our youth who doesn't know who his patrol is.
Yep.
So you'll get that information tomorrow.
I will get that out to them. Laura sent the stuff over to them. So there's a bunch of people that came off the wait list this week. And so I just haven't had time to get that information to them. I have 2 people on here and a third person who emailed me directly. So it's just getting all those ducks in a row, if you will.
Welcome, guys. Bienvenue.
And I think we're staying on for the IST, correct?
Yep. If you wish. I don't know how many ISTs are left. We'll see. I'm going to. Can we buy more Canada neckers? No. The store is closed. So I'm going to stop the recording.
Non, Cascade, on peut pas. On peut pas, le magasin est fermé. Peut-être qu'il va y avoir des extras comme tantôt les badges, mais non, il n'y en a pas.